One man got lost in the forest. He wandered for a long time and eventually stumbled upon a cabin at dusk. Inside, it was empty, and he decided to sleep there. However, he couldn't fall asleep for a long time because portraits of strange people were hanging on the walls, and it seemed to him that they were staring at him ominously. Eventually, he fell asleep from exhaustion. In the morning, he was awakened by bright sunlight. There were no paintings on the walls. They were windows. A young female photographer decided to spend a day and night alone in a remote forest. She wasn't afraid because it wasn't her first time camping. All day, she photographed trees and grass with her film camera, and in the evening, she settled down to sleep in her small tent. The night passed peacefully, but the horror caught up with her only a few days later. All 4 rolls of film contained great shots, except for the final frame. In every photo, it was her, peacefully sleeping in her tent in the darkness of the night. A married couple decided to go to the movies and left their children at home with a babysitter. The kids were already in bed, so the young woman's only job was to stay in the house just in case. Soon, she got bored and decided to watch TV. She called the parents to ask for permission, which they gladly gave her. However, she had one more request. She asked if she could cover the angel statue outside the window because it was making her nervous. There was silence on the other end for a moment before the father, who was speaking to her, said, "Take the kids and get out of the house right now. We're calling the police. We don't own an angel statue." The police arrived to find everyone in the house dead. The angel statue was never found. About 5 years ago, in the middle of the night, my doorbell rang 4 times. I woke up, annoyed, and ignored it because I wasn't expecting anyone. The next night, it happened again, 4 rings. I looked through the peephole, but no one was there. During the day, I told my friends about it and joked that maybe death had the wrong address. On the 3rd night, a friend of mine came over and stayed late. The doorbell rang again, but I pretended not to notice to see if I was imagining things. My friend heard it clearly and, after hearing my story, exclaimed, "Let's catch these pranksters." He ran outside. That was the last time I saw him alive. No, he didn't vanish. On his way home, he was attacked by a drunken group and died in the hospital. The doorbell never rang again. I remembered the story because last night, I heard 3 rings. Today, my girlfriend texted me, saying she didn't know I had a twin brother. Apparently, she had stopped by my place earlier, not knowing I was still at work late into the night, and met him there. He introduced himself, made her coffee, told her some funny childhood stories, and walked her to the elevator. I don't know how to tell her that I don't have a brother. This happened in the mountains of Kyrgyzstan. A group of mountaineers set up camp near a small mountain lake. Around midnight, they were all ready to sleep when they heard a strange noise coming from the lake. It sounded like either crying or laughter. The 5 friends decided to investigate. By the shore, they found nothing but noticed a strange mist glowing with white lights. They took a few steps toward the lights when one of them, who was at the back, realized he was standing knee-deep in icy water. He grabbed the 2 nearest to him, snapping them out of their trance, and they pulled back. But the other 2, who were leading the way, disappeared into the mist and water. It was impossible to search for them in the cold and darkness. At dawn, the survivors hurried to get rescuers, but no one was found. By evening, even the 2 who had barely touched the mist succumbed to the cold. A high school student was bored in class and staring out the window when he noticed a photograph lying on the grass. During break, he went outside and picked it up. It was a picture of a beautiful girl in a dress and red shoes, making a peace sign with her hand. He asked everyone if they knew who she was, but no one recognized her. That evening, he placed the photo next to his bed. During the night, he was awakened by a faint scratching sound, as if someone was at the window. In the darkness, he heard a girl laughing. He went outside to investigate, following the laughter, but didn't realize he had run into the street. Car hit him. The driver jumped out trying to save him, but it was too late. Then the driver noticed the photograph on the ground. It was the same girl, wearing the same dress and red shoes, but now she was holding up 3 fingers. This story was told by a grandfather to his granddaughter. As a child, he and his siblings were sent to a forest cabin when their village came under attack by German forces. The adults decided to hide the children in the woods and agreed that Grandma Marfa would bring them food. Returning to the village was strictly forbidden. The children lived like this through May and June. Every morning, Grandma Marfa would leave food in the shed, and at first the parents visited too. But eventually the visits stopped. The children would watch Grandma Marfa through the window as she silently blessed the house and walked away. One day, 2 men approached the cabin and told the children to come with them. They were partisans and told the children that the village had been burned down a month earlier. Grandma Marfa had been killed. A 12-year-old girl lived with her father, and they had a wonderful relationship. One day, her father had to work late and said he'd be back late at night. The girl waited for him but eventually went to bed. She had a strange dream. Her father was standing across a busy highway, yelling something. She could barely make out the words, "Don't open the door." She woke up to the sound of the doorbell ringing. She jumped out of bed, ran to the door, and looked through the peephole. It was her father. She was about to open the door but paused, remembering the dream. Something about his face seemed off. She stopped. The doorbell rang again. "Dad!" Ding, ding, ding. "Dad, answer me." Ding, ding, ding. "Is someone there with you?" Ding, ding, ding. "Dad, why won't you answer?" she cried. The doorbell kept ringing for nearly an hour, and then it stopped. At dawn, she carefully looked through the peephole again. Her father was still standing there, staring straight at her. She cautiously opened the door and screamed. Her father's severed head was nailed to the door at eye level. Attached to the doorbell was a note with just 2 words, "Smart girl."